Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Caitlin from Leave Me Alone Plants, and today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know when taking care of your silver dollar vine. Now, don't tell the other plants in my collection, but I'm not gonna lie, this is currently my favorite plant at the moment. So I actually acquired this plant at a local nursery. It was going out of business, and I ended up getting this guy for $10. Like, what? I know, it's crazy. Sad that the nursery went out of business, but I was super excited to find this. It was like all by itself. I couldn't believe that nobody else had swooped it up yet. I had been on the hunt for one of these for the longest time, so when I saw it there, I absolutely had to have it. If you got lucky like me and happened to acquire one of these plants on sale, or if you just have one in general, then stay tuned and we will get into how to care for this beautiful guy. So surprisingly enough, these plants are actually native to Madagascar. And when you're finding them in nature, typically what you're going to see is they're growing kind of around trees. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on camera, but it has these little shoots that they send out that help them climb up trees or just other trellises if you have this guy staked up at your home. And basically the reason why they will climb is because these are intense light-loving plants. So they send out those shoots to help them climb up the tree and get closer and closer to more and more light. Now, since I have purchased this plant, I haven't found his forever home in my house. I've kind of just been transplanting him all over, and since I've acquired him, he's put out a ton of those little shoots to, in theory, help him climb and find the light, which kind of is telling me that I am not giving him enough light at the moment. When you're looking for somewhere to put these plants, they will actually tolerate bright direct light for a while. Now, if you start to notice that this plant turns a little bit yellow or it's just kind of looking a little pale, then that might be time to take it out of that light so it is not too harsh. But unlike most plants, it can actually tolerate it. When you feel these leaves, they're super thick, really hardy leaves, so they can tolerate a pretty intense environment. And if they're not getting that light, like I said, you'll probably start to notice these little tendrils coming off of it to hopefully help it find more of that light. Not like most succulents, this guy really is not going to require a whole lot of water. I haven't watered him since I have purchased him, and he doesn't seem to be hating it. Of course, you'll want to water him less in the winter than you would in the summer months. And really, I just plan on letting this guy completely dry out before I do plan on going in with some of that water. Now, surprisingly enough, these plants are actually related to their water-loving cousins. They are related to the cucumber, which, looking at them, I guess, maybe it's kind of looks like a little cross-section of a cucumber. I don't know. I don't really see much of a resemblance, but nonetheless, it is kind of a cool little fun fact for you plant lovers out there. An additional surprising thing about this plant is that they are actually somewhat frost-tolerant, which is super cool. If you think back to plants like a jade plant that is also succulent and frost tolerant, this guy's gonna be the same way. So while you're not gonna wanna leave him out in subarctic temperatures all winter, if it does drop a little below freezing, this guy will probably pull through. And again, I would attribute most of that to just how hardy these leaves are. I wish I could send them to the camera for you so you could feel them. Hopefully you have one at home so that you can enjoy the feeling of these leaves yourself. As for propagating these guys, you can propagate them by a stem cutting, so maybe you will or maybe you won't be able to see it, but if you look into the center of there, you can see that there's kind of like this thicket. That's going to give you an easier time taking that cutting. Now, one thing to note if you are taking a cutting of these plants is that it is unlikely that from that cutting it will end up growing this thick rooty center part. It will basically just kind of stay more of the softer wood vine style, and it won't necessarily develop that thick trunk that you'll see with some of the bigger plants. Now again, these are pretty versatile with how you want to have them. Of course, I have mine in this hanging pot, but you can definitely trellis them up. You can have them climb up a wall. It's really anything that you want. I remember right when I had first gotten into plants, there's a local nursery here. It's called Summer Winds, one of my favorites. But they had one of these silver dollar vines. It was actually around a hoop, and it was so gorgeous. I desperately wanted it, but it was like super expensive at the time. And when I had finally decided that I was going to go back and purchase it, somebody else had of course already bought it. So one of my less fine moments of not purchasing a plant, but I am very happy that I ended up with this guy in my collection. While I don't expect this plant to be the fastest growing one that I've ever owned, I have noticed that since I've had it for the last couple of weeks, it actually has put out a new leaf or two. So there is hope that it's going to grow faster than something like a Hoya carnosa compacta, for instance. You will get new growth on this guy, which is fantastic. That is all I have for you guys today. If you had other questions about this plant that I did not address, of course, drop them in the comments down below and I will do my very best trying to get back to them, and hopefully I will have the answer for you. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.